Hello, folks. I'll come at you this Wednesday morning, 5th of November. Have to make sure what date it is. Fresh cup of coffee, first cup of the morning. It's 8:15 in the morning. Cheers. I'll spend a few minutes with you before I head out to breakfast with Douglas. It's become um, a little routine that we share. I like it. We've met for breakfast several times now. It seems like it happens every few weeks. I love it. I also love the food at Lisa's Radial Cafe where we meet at. And it's close to my house, which I like even better. Thank you to you folks who voted yesterday. In particular, thank you to you folks who are trying to vote for a change. I am not, I'm going to say it again, I'm not a card carrying Democrat or Republican. But with the travesty of what the Republicans are up to under the rule of Trump, the more Democrats we can get in the office, it's a move I would like to think in the right direction. I think it, ultimately, I think it's too late, personally, to turn things around within my lifetime. I have to think in those terms. Um, I'd love to live another 30 years. That would be something to make it to 100. But do I think in the next 30 years we are going to see a turnaround of basic events globally? I don't think so. The business cartel that really runs things is so deeply entrenched, um, corrupt, and historically, it's like it goes on for generations. Old money and ties. But thank you for trying, people. Thank you for voting. So, I'll get right to it. I went ahead and went down to Homer's. I didn't go to Grapefruit because I know there's stuff there. I don't have to get it. If somebody else grabs it, that's cool. But at Homer's, I went down to see if that Medicine album was still there in the used, which I kind of knew it wouldn't be. I know I can call ahead of time, but I said there's a couple other things that I thought I saw. And so I went ahead and went down, had a nice little trip down. Um, Only bought from the used section and the markdowns because I looked at one of the new releases that was there that I'm interested in is the live version of Hail to the Thief by Radiohead just came out. But when I looked at the price and it's a single album for $40, I just said no. That just doesn't feel right. Not just for a single live album, no. So I did find some things. I want to say again how much I like this Steve Hauschild. Listened to this again yesterday. Actually popped it on Dissolve. Real good. But yesterday in the used section, I was hoping to cop the most recent Medicine album, which was a limited edition. So I really wasn't that surprised that somebody beat me to it. But they did have a couple things down there that were worth it in the used section, and this is one of them. Lol Tallhurst and Budgie and Jackknife Lee, Los Angeles. This is fairly recent, 2023. Tallhurst from The Cure, Budgie, who was in Susie and the Banshees before that, he was in The Slits, and Jackknife Lee, I didn't look up his background. This is good. This is good. There's a big percussive aspect to this. Um, but there's also a really good electronic aspect to this as well. And they use, I wasn't expecting it. It's a three sider, you know, so it has an etched. Let me show the etching. This is good. I actually previewed it before I um bought it, since we can, and I was surprised at how cool it sounded. Oh man, this is good. They use guest vocalists on here as characters. In other words, the people that they have singing the different songs, they have them singing to take advantage of the people's characters and their voices, and it works for the most part. Bobby Gillespie of Primal Scream has two tracks on here. One of them I like. James Murphy from LCD Sound System. They do put him to good use. And then the Edge is on here. And Isaac Brock from Modest Mouse. Someone recently asked me if I rated Modest Mouse. And my honest answer is I recognize that Modest Mouse is good and why they have the acclaim they do. If I knew Isaac, or he strikes me as the sort of person that if I met him, ended up working with him, that I would probably really get his music more. But the lyrics, like I said, the lyrics are second. That's not the focus. It's the music, and the music is pretty interesting. I had a Modest Mouse single I got as a promo, but I traded it. I got one other. Only got 2 records in the used, and then they had some markdowns, which I noticed sitting at the base of the front counter, which I hadn't. I look at those boxes, but I don't look dedicatedly. Yesterday, something caught my eye, and so, but we'll get to that. But the other thing that was in the used, but this was sealed. It's a 2021 release, but it's been in the store. Nobody bought it, so it ended up in the used. Dialect, Under Between. This is the sort of thing I'm looking for, but I don't know it. You know what I'm? This is the sort of thing I want to find, sound-wise. Turns out that I was aware of this group Dialect through my video collection, like I was talking about with the other record, the Steve Hauschild. So I'm always looking for stuff to watch that is visually interesting as well as musically. And sure enough, when I got home and was listening to this, I said, let me check in my USB collection. And sure enough, I had a Dialect video from a couple years ago. This is wonderful. This is the project of a particular artist. I think is Andrew P.M. Hunt. But this is wonderful, and the name is perfect, Under Between, because this music is somewhere between modern classical, adult, contemporary, ambient, experimental. It's wonderful. This is just what I like. I've played this twice already. This is the sort of thing that really interests me. Not just good singer-songwriters or songs. I like that, but I like things where it's like, this is fresh. Vocals, violin, bass, clarinet, alto sax, drums, synths, and cello, and they do things with the woodwinds where they take, you folks that play have ever played clarinet or bass clarinet or or valve instruments, saxophones. You know how they make those funny noises. And sometimes on the bass clarinet and clarinets, when you're opening and closing the valves, they kind of pop and make a funny noise, which can be distracting. They actually base a composition on here on those sounds, and it works. And they also use the sound of the spit as you're releasing the spit, the release valve on trumpets and other instruments, in the way that before you empty it out, it ends up, you sometimes get a gurgly sort of tone as you're playing because of all the saliva. They use that effectively on one of the tracks on here. This is wonderful. It's a sort of thing. This is a perfect example of why I love to crate dig, to discover things. This is a wonderful discovery. Dialect, Under Between, on the RVNG International label. When I was looking at it in the used section, and then I spotted the label, I said, okay, that I know it's good. It's a label that I can trust. That was the highlight of yesterday. I've got a couple more to show. That was the highlight of the day. That was the find. Oh, I actually did buy one more used record. And I had to get it because it's in pristine shape. I actually used to own this, but when I owned it, it was someone else's record that just ended up at my house. They never took it. They never came and got it. John Lennon's Imagine. But when I saw this in the used section, look at that. It's pristine. It's like it's new. On top of that, I could feel that it's thick. So I said, okay, this is a 2015 European. It's not even the US version. It's got the printed inner sleeve. It's got the poster, the full-size poster. And it has two, I guess you could call them cards, postcards, whatever. Now this contains my favorite John Lennon song of all of his solo songs. I bet you some of you could guess what the song is. I was chuffed when I saw this is a European pressing. It's not a American. It's a European pressing. But my favorite song it's on side 2, How. That's my favorite John Lennon song of his solo work. So I was really glad to pick this up. Like I say, I noticed it was in such good shape, and when I picked it up, it was all fat and stuff, So I got the poster. Imagine, John Lennon. That's what I got out of the used. And then at the front counter, caught my eye, thank goodness. Making sure that's, two in the markdown bins. They have stuff that, like leftovers from record store days. And that's really what a lot of the overstock is. Record store day titles that didn't sell from previous years. So this one caught my eye because when it came out originally, I was interested in it, but I didn't like the price. So they had this marked down to almost half price. They said, that's what I'm talking about. Hawkwind, Greasy Truckers Party. There's 2 Greasy Truckers albums, compilations from this event. And I have one of them, but not the Hawkwind one. This is apparently the entire 1972 set by Hawkwind. And they are really stoned on this album. Well, you can really tell. It's dripping with stone. And it's fabulous. Lemmy on bass. Really cool. Real cool. Yeah. I'm glad I spotted it because it was on the floor up by the front counter. And I got one more because when it came out originally for Record Store Day, it was too pricey. These prices just suck, and they just keep going up. So when I saw this in this markdown Goblin Fearless 37513 Zombie Avenue. Y'all know about Goblin, the Italian band that became best known for soundtrack work. I have one of them, but not the most famous one. But I thought to myself, I know that Goblin is good music, and these I could be distracted by the way that the music is presented, but this is it's appropriate. But musically, this is really solid. It's really good, and ends up it's on a funny color vinyl. What I get from this the most is the well, this is I like it's old style prog, Italian prog, slowed down because these guys are older. I noticed that the pace of the music is literally slower. Like, yeah, we're old, but the compositions and the chords that they use, and it's something that I study because I don't really understand music theory very well mathematically. So I do it by ear. And there's a lot of chord passages on here. It's like, wow, what are those combination chords? And it's something to study. I love beautiful chords. And this is very dramatic. And that's how they use the chords in a dramatic way. But it's also like, wow, those are cool sounding chords. What are they? I have to try to learn them. So I got some new records. Well, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Comments. I just always just encourage people to be decent. Talk to me the way you would like to be talked to. Mostly it's working. Haven't had to delete very many comments recently at all because it's really obvious that some people are just being really shitty. This latest one, yeah, indeed, let's be good to each other. And the persons that they find themselves making a face when they look at, sometimes after reading back comments of others, I find myself making a face. No wonder you keep enunciating boundaries. I catch myself, trust me. Gonna split as always. Despite your deflection, I enjoy your work. I don't know what that means, deflection. I don't know what that's talking about. Whoever Kerwakt is, so someone let me know they voted. Thank you. Someone said they're pretty sure that I listened to Getting to Know You All within the last couple of years. Well, you have a better memory than me. Hey, Dave Newhouse, if you happen to see this today, yeah, that Getting to Know Y'all is awesome. But right quick, I think because both you and I, my connection to you originally is through Canterbury music. There's a Canterbury-ishness to some of the tones that are used by Steve Hauschild on this album, Dissolve. There's a couple times that it kind of reminded me of Soft Machine in a real good way. So that's for you, Dave. I'm glad to see you are back in the fold, Dave. And I will say again that I totally appreciate that you have allowed me to play on a couple of your records and that you are on one of mine, Interlude. That means a lot to me. So let me wrap up here. In about 20 minutes, I'm going to go and meet Doug for breakfast. We'll see what's on his agenda. I have my first. I have one of two public appearances coming up next a week from Friday. Um, that will be Stacy Barrelos, who the professor. I like to call her that because it's, you know, I'm honored that this professor that she just did a thing in Rome, and she just now got back from Brazil. Some musical stuff she's doing down there, and she's the one that's presenting me next week. Not just playing, but a talk, a presentation, a talk about me. And so I'm getting that together. We'll meet with them a week before. Well, actually, this Friday we're supposed to meet and go look at the space that this is happening in, so I can see if it's got an adequate PA for me and other stuff. I'm excited. I haven't even really chosen a specific program of what to play. I have so much music to choose from. And interestingly, even though I have all these releases to try to sell, and when I play, I'm often tempted and do play the most recent things I'm working on, which aren't even released yet. But that's what's going on with me. That's what I'm thinking about. Yesterday was a golden day. We're back to it's almost like a physical presence. It's almost like I can see the tinnitus. It's almost like if I could just reach in and just pull it out. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Can we be less divided? Can we be less hateful? Can we wake up to this madness? Can we please? Can we just see just how horribly hateful and racist the current regime is that's in power? It's just so insane. It's just so wrong. What's wrong with you racist people? Why are you so hateful? Why are you always blaming other people when, this is the point, last thing I want to make. It's irksome to me to see how Trump and his racist gaggle of people perpetuate incorrect stereotypes about people of color. The fact of the matter is that the things that they're grousing about, blaming them on black people and people of color, everybody does it. It's human behavior. Sucks that that we're so stupid that we do this to one another. Look what they do. They do that, and half of it is a stereotype. It's not even true. It's something that they believe they don't have no proof of. It hurts us all. That's why I speak about this. It hurts. They're not helping anyone, not even helping themselves. Okay? Family, I know you watch me, Stephanie in particular. I see in the latest group message that I didn't participate in, just saying hello here. And yeah, the things going on in the government and with the racist haters, the racist haters in office is just off the chain. Let's try to be the solution.